this anime had a ton of hype behind it, and with the second season out, I figured I would give it a watch, and I gotta say, it is honestly one of the best anime I have seen in a long time. But even on top of that, you got more great content on Verve, like Rooster Teeth's Ruby, Cartoon Hangover's Bee and Puppy Cat, or even another hyped anime, Attack on Titan. Again, subbed on Crunchyroll, dubbed on Funimation. Huge thank you to the guys over at Verve. This is legitimately a super cool service, and again, if you're interested, be sure to click the link down below for a free 7-day trial. I do not think you will regret it. And also, stay tuned, because next time, we are taking a look at Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy. Super excited.
Coverage abroad with no extra charge to snap and share all your photos. Get the most from Pixel with a little help from Google Fi.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there, because YouTube law dictates that every video covering Banjo-Kazooie has to start like this. Banjo and Kazooie in Smash. Well, damn, to say about time would be underselling it. It's a pretty fascinating case, honestly, because conversations regarding the bear and bird duo can rarely happen nowadays without bringing up... rare. Banjo-Kazooie, what a damn good game, but you've heard this all endlessly by now. It was almost as if for a while, if you wanted to get into the whole video game review thing, a pretty cliche way to get your foot into the door would be to cover this game specifically. And I would know. Listen, alright? I was a very different dude back then. Banjo's Smash reveal sparked something different in me. I wanted to finally experience everything that this franchise had to offer, from its debut to what led us to this very moment. And to do so, I was about to do something pretty drastic, and I did it. I bought an Xbox. Yeah, I'm actually part of the small percentage of the population out there who has never owned a single Xbox console. I've always been totally content with just Nintendo and PlayStation. But hey, I found an original Xbox One and Rare Replay combo for $100 on eBay. I've certainly spent money on much worse. Playing Banjo-Kazooie on the N64 is still fine and dandy, don't get me wrong, but I just had to see what I've been missing out on with the Xbox Live versions for all these years. It runs at a higher resolution, that's the big one. The life icon doesn't really look as good. I don't know, man, that always irked me. All of the Nintendo references were removed and replaced, and you know, that one makes sense. Banjo does still rock a classic Game Boy on the load menu though, which is pretty cool. You know, it probably would have been a bit too much work to outright change the model with something else, and besides, the only equivalent device that would have made sense would have been to give Banjo a Zune, and that makes me uncomfortable. And hey, can't forget about this, my very first ever achievements. How exciting. Well, hot damn, that's $100 well spent. But oh, if it's Banjo's debut we're gonna talk about, Banjo-Kazooie isn't the game to go over, of course not. It's...
Diddy Kong Racing!
Often a forgotten part of Banjo's past, Diddy Kong Racing is actually the first sighting of the bear, just with no bird in sight. He was simply one of the playable racers and nothing more, so it's mostly just a neat little factoid. It was an appearance that lacked much impact.
I'm Banjo!
But you slap a bird on him, you wait a year, compose and animate an iconic musical number to start off a brand new adventure, and well, the rest is history. So the plan here is to take a look at what made this game so good, and then take a look at the highs and lows that followed soon thereafter. People lost their minds seeing Banjo and Kazooie show up in Smash Brothers. Surely there has to be a reason why, and finding that reason out starts now. It's Banjo time! Straight out of the gate, Banjo-Kazooie just oozes charm. The load file screen is fantastic, which is a sentence that you don't really hear very often. Banjo just chilling out around his house, getting a bit of cooking done. The music is different when hovering over each file. It's minor, but it really does set the tone for the rest of the game. The story is super simplistic as well, but enough to get you out of the house and ready to go. The evil witch Gruntilda can't stand that her talking pot basically called her ugly. The prettiest in town is this little bear girl, Tootie, Banjo's sister. And in an absolute rage, she sets off to do something about it. Any day now. Oh, okay, there she goes. Grunty then manages to kidnap Tootie, and Banjo somehow slept through the entire thing that was going on outside, despite Kazooie losing her mind right next to him. Man, he was hibernating just then. And once we get all of the info from our friendly neighborhood bottles, we set off on an adventure to save our sister. And we gotta get her back super soon, or else Grunty will steal all of her prettiness. That's a damn impressive machine, to be honest. Props to her. Sure, it's a pretty nothing plot, and at the end of the day, you are still saving the girl, but it gets the job done. It has a good fairy tale vibe to it. And just like that, we're already at one of the coolest parts of the game. At this point, Bottles offers you the tutorial section, where you get to run around the awesome starting area, Spiral Mountain, and get used to the different mechanics available to you. And you're not allowed to move on until he gives you each individual move. Or you can just press the B button, get everything immediately, and get going. The entire tutorial is optional. Being able to start properly playing the game almost immediately is really satisfying, and something that modern games still sometimes have troubles with. You do still deal with tutorials from Bottles introducing brand new moves to your arsenal throughout the different levels, but the banter back and forth is actually super endearing. Kazooie and Bottles call each other names on a constant basis, while Banjo is the straight man and just wants to get things done. This makes the encounters a lot more enjoyable. Right in their very first ever interaction, Bottles calls Kazooie strange looking, and she immediately hits him back with Goggle Boy. Oh man, how vicious. And then we have Grunty's lair, found by entering her massive head sculpted onto a mountainside. I'm sensing a bit of a pattern here with these big head mountains in rare games. The lair is Banjo-Kazooie's hub world, and man, it is one of my favorites. There's a surprising amount of variety to the landscapes found within, and the further you progress, you notice that it's always slowly transitioning into the themes of the worlds that you're about to jump into, with new enemies and obstacles creeping in, and the lair's music remixing on a level-by-level basis. And the entire time, Gruntilda will regularly chime in with insults in rhyme form, just the right amount of annoying to make it compelling to take her down. Even her sister, Brentilda, is rooting for you as well. She pops up around the lair to help you out for your inevitable final battle. And, alright, this part's not the best, but I'll get to that. And we've only just scratched the surface about what makes this game cool. The optional tutorials, the hub world, the loading screen. Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie does a lot of cool and unique things, but things like that, they kind of get overshadowed by the fantastic gameplay. Alright, now let's talk about the fantastic gameplay. By modern standards of the word collectathon, Banjo is actually pretty by the books. Each of the game's 9 worlds are laid out in a pretty similar fashion. 10 jigsaw pieces, known as Jiggies, the main collectible, are spread throughout each, and are rewarded for fulfilling requests by the world's NPCs, or by completing gameplay challenges like finding the 5 hidden Jinjos. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I forgot the quotations. Hidden. Like literally, you're like literally a brisk walk away to safety. What are you, are your legs broken? Alright, sure, whatever. For the instant satisfaction of a cheery jingle, I'll do whatever's asked of me. You also gain access to a constantly growing moveset, adding a ton of versatility to the play control. Extra movement options like the Talent Trot, which is going to be how you spend 95% of the game playing. New items like different types of shoes to traverse poisonous areas or move faster. Being able to fly or turn invincible thanks to finding these colored feathers. And new attacks like Kazooie being able to shoot eggs from her mouth and her... Oh... But even in this fairly standard gameplay style, something that we're already pretty used to seeing with games like Mario, Spyro, more modern attempts like A Hat in Time, Banjo still excels due to personality being at the forefront of everything you do without needing to sacrifice fun gameplay. Each of the levels has a very distinct theme, with characters and missions fitting them to a T, like a giant snowman and living Christmas tree lights on the verge of death in Freeze Easy Peak, to the dreary Bubble Gloop Swamp being filled with appropriate swamp life, both evil and good. There are so many moving parts, too. You actually have an impact on these worlds and the lives of the characters that you interact with. For example, in Gobi's Valley,